and you just seem to be so conversational and chill that I want to talk to you because you're relaxed.
Yeah.
Right. Is that something that you had to cultivate, or were you just, I can't imagine door to door. I know I've kind of done it, but I mean, I can't imagine being chill doing that. What's your thought?
It's a great question. I've never been asked that before. I think there's a lot of things that go into that, and that's something that most people, including myself, have to learn how to do. So when you think about, if you want to be that person that can speak with a prospect and not be needy and all those other, kind of stuff, and be conversational, and I think it's about a couple things. One, anytime you do something new, you're thinking a lot about the mechanics of what you're doing. Like, I just started snowboarding last year. So I can link turns and do all that kind of stuff and do a little bit of carving, but I have to think about the mechanics. Every time I turn, I'm thinking about my body and my feet. I'm not in the zone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of, depending on who's listening to this and if you're running a business or selling, if you have not done this activity a lot, it's going to feel uncomfortable. And there's a certain aspect of this that you have to just accept. And that's, without repetition, I will not be good or comfortable at something. Repetition is everything. So when people hear me train around cold calling, or they listen to me cold call now, I've been doing this in one form or another since 2009. It's the only thing I've done as an adult. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's key number one. I think the second thing, this is kind of completely unrelated to that, is I've done a lot of work in the last couple years in therapy on myself, just getting comfortable and confident in my own skin. And I think there's something to a couple things. One, having an abundance mindset around things, and that's easier said than done. But if you do the work to create abundance in your life, so a really practical example of that is, I work with so many sales reps that make a good living that still live month to month because their cost of living that just crept up as they made more money.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, like, keep your cost of living at a level where you can save a significant amount of money. And right now, especially with the recession, you should have a significant amount of cash savings as an emergency fund. We're kind of extreme. We do 12 months of cash.
Yeah.
But you need to have 3 to 6 months of something so that you can afford to say no to a bad deal. You can afford to leave a job that is bad. You can afford to mess up as you're going through your learning curve. And that's something I don't think a lot of people talk about. They just say, have an abundance mindset. It's like, okay, well, it's not very easy to fake abundance. Like, just create abundance in your life. You know what I mean? So I think the other thing too is just getting really comfortable. If you really examine the things that you were insecure about in your personal life, Michael Port wrote a book called Book Yourself Solid, really great business book.
Okay.
This is his quote. He said, "Business problems are really personal problems in disguise." And I was like, goodness. Oh, God, that's so good, right? So I'll give you an example. One of the things for me that there's like this is something that started in like middle school or high school around sports, where I always underperformed. And I was pretty good at basketball, but I always underperformed because of like what was going on upstairs, not because of my physical abilities and how much time I put into it. I just didn't really believe in myself, And the way that permeated into my sales career and business career is that I didn't believe that I could be a top performer. I would get there at some point just through hard work and determination, but I didn't really believe that that was the case. And this is something literally that I've worked in this is like the last year and a half of stuff. And I think having mentors and stuff like that helps as well. But if you really examine the stuff that you're insecure about in your personal life, you'll probably find a pattern of things that are affecting your professional life